Okay folks, welcome back. We'll be doing another video for you on another Zebco from the early 2000s. This is a Weird 202. This would be the early import 202s. Most of these second gen import 202s, which were called the Authentic series, they had a wide range drag system, which tightens up on the drag itself, on the wheel gear itself, and then tightens up and loosens up whenever you tighten and loosen the drag. It goes around the spool instead of the spool moving like an SLD drag. All graphite body and frame. These were pretty decent reels for their time, but there was a few things that I didn't like about these reels. These early generation of Star Drag 202 Authentics was the spools on them, the spinner cones on them would get chewed up a lot from line use, and plus that these type of reels are no longer being made. But they were an okay entry level kids fishing reel, or just if you were on a budget and you didn't want to spend a lot of money on a fishing reel. This Authentic 202, which was called the Wide Range Drag Power Rain Drag System. Precision. They also made this in like a chrome cover model, which was the Steel series. This is not the Steel series. This has aluminum helical gear system. It's an old school aluminum gear system. So it's all aluminum cast metal gear system, which is not bad. It's okay. I mean, you're not going to get as long use out of this than an American made 202, but it still has a place in a collector's closet, or just the collectability of it, because it is a Zebco, early import Zebco. I think the second generation of import Zebcos. The first generation, now this one's a little bit trickier to take apart than an American made or the more modern 202s, but the spinner head on this one is about the same as the modern 202, but with a little bit different of a trick. To take the spinner cone off and put it back on, you have to have a pair of pliers to hold the pickup pin while you try to put the spinner cone back on. The tools you will need is a pair of needle nose pliers, or pliers, 2 wrenches. You'll need a size 8 wrench and a size 10 wrench for the main nut right here on the handle, and this one goes on the nut on the spinner cone to take it off. That's pretty much all you need, is 2 wrenches and maybe a small needle nose pliers. You will need some kind of reel cleanser to cleanse the parts on this reel, which is the WD-40 or a dedicated fishing reel company reel cleaner. And you will need some kind of cleaning kit or oil and reel grease. This is the Ozark Trail reel grease, or you could use the Hillbilly Snot oil and grease that I've used before, or you could use Penn reel oil and grease, Ardent reel oil and grease, or Quantum hot sauce, or bearing grease. Any which one of those will work. Gun oil if you don't have those on hand. Okay, now we're going to start breaking down this reel by taking off the cover first. Once you take off the cover, you can remove the body of the reel from the frame. It takes a little bit of jiggling to get it out, but once it comes out, it'll come out fairly easy. It's not like the modern 202. You don't have to take off the nut in order to do it. The first thing you want to take out, like I said, is the nut right here. You'll need a size 8 wrench to take the spinner cone nut off to that point. Now when this comes off, the pickup pin will drop. In order to get this back on, you'll have to hold the pickup pin like this with a pair of pliers, and hold it with the pair of pliers with the pickup pin like so, in order to get it back onto the pinion gear itself. You just guide it in there until it goes back on, but you got to hold the pickup pin on the bottom in order to do it. Now the spool does not come off of this. This is the body and the spool are one, so it doesn't come out. So at this point, you can take off the handle with a size 10 wrench. What you get underneath here is the handle crank and Now when you want to get this off, you just hold the pinion gear and the gear in place like that, and the little star drag just turns right off. And there's a spring here, and a nut goes in there like that. So you put the nut back on there like that, and put the spring on top, and then screw this back in when you put it back into place. Take out the pinion gear, and the wheel gear should go right out. And right here is the drag nut, the little drag paw mechanism. It'll come out. Just pull it out, but make sure when you put it in there, back into the sleeve, it goes into that little hole right there. In this order right here, the little fat end has to go on top, and the little skinny end has to go on the bottom when you replace it. There's a small hole behind there which that sits in. And once you get that out, okay, once you get all the, it's time to restore the reel. Now what you want to do is take a small, like, bowl or something, or a metal tub or something, and just drop every single part in here, even including the spinner head, the body of the reel, and this too. You'll need a toothbrush and a wire brush to get the metal parts, and use the toothbrush on the plastic parts. Put the body in here as well with the gears as well. Actually, we'll take the body out and spray them out, use a paper towel to clean those out. All you gotta do is just spray some real cleaner in there and around that and in the body itself, and take a paper towel, wipe those out, and that's clean enough for that. Just make sure you get around the threads in case there's any dirt in there. Now with this, you can take this apart like so, and on the inside is a small little washer that you can take out, wipe off by hand in this gear wheel, and just shove it back in here with the pinion gear, and that's basically all you need to clean, really. Spray it all down with WD-40 or reel cleaner, and we'll get back to you when we're done cleaning it to put grease on it and reassemble the reel. Okay folks, now that we got all the parts wiped down and cleaned, basically you take a toothbrush to these parts, or metal brush to these aluminum parts, pinion gear, wheel gear, and you can just take a toothbrush to this pinion gear, spray it out with some reel cleaner or WD-40, clean it out, wipe it out with a paper towel. Once you wipe down the body, the star drag system itself, this washer, the washer that goes on the handle, and this right here. Once you got it all cleaned, now it's time to re-oil and lube. We're going to use some of this oil from the cleaning kit. We're going to put oil on virtually every surface of this reel, just a little bit on the inside here, and around here on the inside of there as well. Oil that. Oil the top of the pinion gear right here, and inside the pinion gear. That's all you need oil wise, and maybe a little bit of oil on this here thread. Doesn't take much. Now once you oil everything down, which we got everything oiled pretty much, we'll put some oil on this here pinion gear as well, and spring. That's all you really need on here in order for it to function properly. Once that's done, we can take the reel grease, which is this right here, and it has a little paddle on it which scoops out a generous measure of grease. To save time, we're just going to put some grease on this and just rub it in with our hands over on the top of here. Rub it in good, and put that over here. Put some in the back on this wheel gear here. Just a little bit on there, and get some on this teeth here, which right here on the teeth of the gear as well. Get some more of this grease here, and just put it on the teeth of the gear, and it's good. Once you do that, that's really all the grease you need. You don't really need much on the teeth. You pretty much have to grease every part of this reel. Once you do that, that one's done. You want to put a little bit of grease on the end of this pinion gear right here on the teeth, and just right here on the teeth, and on the front. You take the excess off right there. That's good enough. We got some, I think, right here. I'm not too sure. We'll put some more grease on there anyways. If there isn't, we'll put some on there. And if you got like any excess grease on your fingers, you can just rub that grease in on there as well. On this washer here, we'll rub some grease, and we'll rub some grease on this on the little drag paw mechanism, and a little bit on the gear washer, Teflon gear washer. This will have to go on okay, this goes on the bottom here like so. So we're gonna have to put this on this right here in the center of the wheel gear right there on the back of the gear. Okay, I see what I did wrong here. Okay, that one goes like this on the back here, and this goes inside right here. This little washer goes on the inside here, which goes on the back of this handle crank screw, and it goes right in there like so. Once you get that in there, that's all assembled, greased, and oiled, and ready to go. So, you know. And there you go. That's reassembled. That's the main job you really got to do there. Now once we got that assembled, you put in the one of the main parts of the reel, which is the anti-reverse switch. It's got to go down on the fat end before you could put it on the put the wheel gear back in, which I screwed up. This little washer goes on the back of the wheel gear, which I didn't forget to put back in there. And once you do that, put the wheel gear back into place, and it should lock up. Now there you go. And now you can return the pinion gear, and you got to kind of jiggle it in there. Once you do that, you can put the star drag system back on. Once you do that, you can stick this washer on here first, then spring, then the star drag just screws right in there. Once you screw that in there, it should be good to go. Once you get that in there and everything re-greased up, put the handle crank back in here, which is right there. You can put a little bit of oil in here, right here in the handle crank. A little drop will do, and then, you know, move it around until the oil penetrates in there to make it a lot easier to use, and it's not going to stick on you. And once you do that, you take a size 10 wrench, screw it into place after you re-grease everything, and tighten that handle up. Keep your hand on that pickup pin down there. Now to put the spinner cone back on, you got to push this in first, and then grab the pickup pin itself with a pair of needle nose pliers. You got to find the way that groove goes on here, right here, and you got to hold the pickup pin down with your finger and find that groove on the spinner cone that fits into there, and it should just go right on. When you do that, you want to make this even. You want to hold it with your hand like so on the bottom and put the screw back in. You want this to go on even. Sometimes if you don't do it right, it won't go on even. Just eyeball it. If it's when you tighten it up and it goes on even, make sure the spinner cone's on there even, and once you do that, you tighten the spinner cone down, and that's really all you need to do. And once you do that, take the body of the reel, like I told you, spray it with some cleaner like this, and spray that on the inside. Take a small rag and wipe out the spinner cone like so. Make sure you clean the threads with your fingernail and the inside. Go on the outside right here and just take that oil and clean it up, and if there's any dirt in there, it'll be gone. Spray the inside of the body out like this with the reel cleaner. Don't take much, and just take this in here and put that on there like that, and take a rag and just wipe out any dirt or old excess oil, crust, or anything like that. Take the grease on your hands that are already on there and just, you know, wipe the back end of the body off. Once you do that, it's pretty much clean. Just make sure these threads are clean on the outside. No dirt in there, which will strip out the threads on your reel. Once that's done, you can put the body of the reel in the frame. You just got to watch the fishing line here and stuff the body of the frame in the reel. Okay, there it goes. Finally goes in there. Now, what I did is what is a rookie move here. Sometimes you get the line stuck underneath the frame. You just pull it out, it'll come out. And once we do that, we're going to put some of this fishing line through the eye of the bevel cone to reel it in and test the drag to make sure the drag is operating, functioning right. And then we'll call it a successful restoration of this old authentic 202 from the early 2000s. Sometimes the little covers don't like going on, and there you go, it's on there, and it's like brand new now. But we're going to test the drag out, see if it works. Okay, that's the lightest drag setting, and we're going to tighten it up all the way, and there, it works. There you go, fully restored authentic 202 from early 2000. And when you clean it, you know you got it clean right. It's really smooth. It wasn't smooth before because it sat in a box of reels for years. There you go, folks. That's how you clean and maintenance a early second generation import 202 good bait fishing reel for trout fishing. Put 6-pound test on it. You put 8 and 10 and 14 if you want to catch something a little bit bigger, if you're using live bait or dough baits, catfish, trout, panfish, pretty much anything that swims, this thing will catch. I hope you all like this video. Please smash the like, share, and subscribe, and tell me what you think of this fishing reel 202 authentic fishing reel restoration. Y'all take it easy. It's been your old pal Hondo from Hillbilly Tactical. You put God first, he puts you first every time. You know what, YouTube? God loves you. So does Hondo. Peace out, YouTube.